Milesmorales.
G'day, I'm the Articulated Aussie. Welcome back to the channel. Today we get to review the Miles Morales Gamerverse edition. Now, Miles Morales has been a modern day success story. He's one of the few modern age characters that have continued to flourish and to blossom. He's had his own comic book runs. He's been involved in so many different arcs. He's even been into the big crossover events like Spiderverse 2, and in Spiderverse 2 he had his own team, so he's at the forefront of the storyline as well. His first appearance was in Ultimate Fallout number 4, and not long after that he starts to take over the mantle of Spider-Man after Peter Parker died in the Ultimate Universe. As far as recommended reading goes for Miles Morales, you're going to want to check out these comics right here. So you want to check out his Origins run, and where he starts taking over the mantle of Spider-Man. You'll be surprised to learn that his Clone Saga isn't actually a bad read at all. And you also want to check out Spiderverse and Spidergeddon, especially Spidergeddon, where he's featured quite heavily. In the last couple of years he's even broken into mainstream popularity as well. As you can see by this shirt here, he's available in a lot of different pop culture shops. And this is due to the success of Into the Spider-Verse, where we saw an origin story again, and he's teamed up with Gwen Stacy, which is an awesome pairing right throughout the comics as well. And he's even been featured in his own video game that has been very well received right over the world. And that's where we're at today. We're looking at his figure from the game, Miles Morales Gamerverse version of Spider-Man. So let's get to the unboxing, but more importantly, you know it, those poses.
Miles Morales.
So out of the box, this is a very nice figure. The thing that your eyes are first drawn to is the sculpted details on his chest, the spider emblem, and also the spider webs and the clean cut lines around his chest going into his abdomen. On the back we can see the big spider logo, and we can see that it's fully sculpted in there as well. We've got the butterfly joints onto the shoulders to give him the full range of motion, and the sculpted detail goes right down his legs. So you can see the waist swivel. Then just underneath that you got the upper thigh and the lower thigh, which has these lines all fully sculpted into it to give it that depth and a feel that this is a high quality figure. We also have this embossed detail into the legs, which is quite unusual, but it's very nice to see that they've got this bit of texturing over it, and it really lifts the figure as well. We've got the double jointed knees, we've got the ankle pivot. As far as the costume goes, the texturing and the paintwork on the front at least goes all the way up into the hidden bit of the torso, so that when you bend all the way back you get that nice continuous look in the suit. There's no breaks at all. However, when you bend him forward, they haven't continued this with the spider emblem. You get this nasty little break in the paint, but it's something that we can look over now for how much they've actually given us. Now onto the accessories, and we are totally spoiled with this figure. We have got the deluxe treatment in a standard figure, which is what we all want. Great value for money. And to be honest, this is what most Spider-Men should always come with. First off, we want the raw crawling hands, you want the thwipping hands, you want the fisted hands, and as a bonus, because he has the Venom Strike, we also have these amazing looking Venom Strike hands. The way that they've achieved this look is just amazing. You have these lightning effects coming off the back of his hands as if he's in a full motion, ready to attack somebody. It would be interesting to see if we could get some extra hands, so maybe the open palm hands, as if he's just reaching out to touch somebody on the shoulder and fully zapping them without even trying. Now, we don't have any translucent parts for his other ability, which is being able to go invisible, but that's because we got that in a full complete other figure. So if you want those features, you can definitely get them, and you also get these amazing hands with it as well, but that's in another figure entirely, so we will have to get a second one to get the full translucent body look. And this is where we get onto the part which I'm not really keen on in this figure. Don't get me wrong, both of the heads look amazing. The sculpted details on the mask, superb. Even the face looks really good. It does look like Miles Morales, maybe not totally recognisable from the game, but you do know it as Miles, as a bit of a blend from the comics and the game itself. The thing that really let this figure down for me is the ball joint in the neck. Now the ball joint itself isn't too bad, but it's the soft plastic that they used. On the first one of mine, it was so soft and the head felt like it was going to snap off, and you can see right here why. With this soft plastic, somehow they've got this little bubble in it, so it's actually only half the width of what the neck joint should have been, and that was pretty much ready to snap off. If I'd had to put any more pressure in it, it would have come completely off in my hand and I would have had a broken figure. This problem is a manufacturing problem, but this isn't helped by every figure so far that I've either seen in hand or talked to mates about, with these heads being extremely tight to get on, extremely tight to get off. So when I had to put in this extra force to get the figure off, and unfortunately on this one I didn't go and heat it because I thought it would be fine, not knowing that they've changed to this softer plastic, it could have very easily broke on me. Now I was able to take this back and get it exchanged. That way I had a decent figure that I would be able to swap over the heads if I wanted to later, but I've been so scared to change it once I got the next one on. I think what I'm going to have to do to fix the heads is maybe sand it out a little bit inside the head. That way it gives that little bit more freedom so that I don't have to force it on and off this very soft barbell joint. And to be honest, that plastic goes right throughout the rest of the figure too, where it has this softer feel to the plastic. It's not the worst I've seen, but it's definitely not like the older Marvel Legends like Pizza Spidey. But thankfully I was able to get it exchanged. I brought it at a local retail shop and I took it back and I showed them what it was, and they could obviously see how close it was to breaking already. Thankfully they had one more on shelf and I was able to get it, and this one didn't have that manufacturing error in it, so I've been able to keep it, but just very, very cautious while taking the heads on and off. And to be honest, I think the mask is going to stay on all the time because I just don't want to risk wrecking this figure. Okay, enough from me. Let's get on to those poses. This week's Artist Arena Spotlight is on Marvelous action figure poses. He always brings the fire with his shots, especially with those killer Spider-Man poses. And if you'd like to see your photos featured, tag me into Instagram or on my Facebook page.